All right. Hey, welcome to Flipping Genius, the Flipping Genius podcast, special edition. We're doing a little video take wrap up of what I'm going to call the 3 hour car flip. And if you've heard of Jeremy Fisher's course, the 3 hour car flip, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to take you through a little special deal that we did this week. I bought this little car on Sunday. I sold it on Tuesday. I spent less than 3 hours total and made a tiny little profit. And I thought I'd show you how I did it so you'll know it can be done. It's nothing real exciting, but it's kind of cool. And I think that's why a lot of people are listening to our podcast. If you're not listening to the podcast yet, it's flippinggenius.com is our website. The podcast is called Flipping Genius. It's all about car flipping. And you can find us anywhere. We've got 62 episodes out now. So without further ado, I'm going to walk you through this, and you'll see other videos in this series where we're going to talk about how we found the vehicle, how we improved the vehicle, and then how we sold the vehicle. But let's take a look at this right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Screen 2. Share. Okay, so this is what we found is a 97 Nissan Maxima. The guy called me on a what I call a post-it note, which are post-it notes. You'll see them in the one of the other videos and hear me talk about them. It just says I buy cars, I buy houses, because I'll buy houses too, and it's got my telephone number. So he called me and said I got this thing set next to the driveway. I want to get rid of it because they're trying to move, and I don't need it anymore. I drove it about every day about 3 or 4 months ago, but it just looks like crap. Got a busted windshield. One of the windows doesn't work. And other than that, it's okay. So I went out there, and this is what it looked like. Lots of clear coat peel. Bad looking, just a bad looking cosmetically. And I'll just walk you around this car. This is the beginning. Clear coat peeling off it. Now, we live in Alabama, so there's no rust on the vehicle, which is typical. We don't have rust down here. No hubcaps on it. You're going to notice, though, it's got good tires. And something I noticed right away is it had a brand new battery. He bought it in December, but brand new. Today is March 25th. So pretty good. And it's a good one. It's one of Walmart's top quality batteries. Does have a cracked windshield. And I kind of looked around and thought about, do I want to put a lot of money in this? My answer was no, I do not. It had 300,000 miles, right at 300,000. Now, another thing I noticed is that the interior door panel was missing, and he had this window sealed shut or closed shut with a little piece of wood, kind of like a door stop. And as you drove, the window, of course, would slide down. Eventually, it's probably going to break. And the door didn't want to stay open because there was a bolt missing from it. But the other three windows did work, and the power locks worked, and there was still he had this zip tied, the control zip tied to the door, and so he had that holding the window up. Everything worked in the car. The air conditioning worked. It had AM FM CD stereo. It worked, and the car started right up and ran perfect, no jump or anything. He had to hook the battery up because he had the battery unhooked so it wouldn't go dead. Um, so, but this is what I found in the back seat. There's the door panel. So I was pleased to see that. And that's what it looked like the next day. Easy peasy. I watched a little video by Scotty. I can't remember his last name. He's all over YouTube. And he was fixing a cheap car, and he said, this thing's not worth repairing. And I didn't think this was worth putting a new engine or new motor in the door. So I didn't. I followed Scotty's lead and used some wire, some baling wire that I had, and I wired that window up. I used a little tape along the side, and it's solidly in place. So as you drive down the road, it's not going to slide down. It's also not going to go up and down because it's not hooked to anything. But the other three doors, just like Scotty said, if you want to put a window down, the other three work, but this one didn't. I put the door panel back on. I popped that zip tie off of there and slid that control back through, and made it look presentable, okay. And the door closes as you drive. Doesn't close perfect, but it would close as you drive. And I did a little tape work here on the tear that was on the armrest. I didn't show you that, but that's black duct tape. I call it bumper tape. And other than that, I didn't really do anything else inside. Picked up a little bit off the ground, but here's what I did to the car itself. I used a scraper and peeled all the clear coat away that I could peel, and then I just went over to the spray car wash and put I think $3 into the spray car wash and washed it off. I washed all that excess clear coat peel away, the dirt that gets tucked under that clear coat, and brought it back to my lot here. And I had some leftover paint that I'd bought at a place called Dirt Cheap. They were selling paint for like 85 cents a can or something like that. And I had paint for a Toyota, a Chrysler, and a Honda, but they were all pretty similar, and they're similar to this paint. So once I got back and had it dried off, I used a little bit of newspaper and masking tape and masked off the hood so it wouldn't get any overspray on the lights or even the broken windows or the broken windshield. And I just went around it with those 3 cans of paint as much as I could and sprayed the clear metal, the metal that was exposed. I had 3 hubcaps in my garage. I only had 3, so I put 3 on. I used some touch-up paint and painted that exposed hubcap. Uh-oh, there we go. And so you can see that it's got the hubcaps on it. I'm gonna go back a couple. So I got a hubcap there. I just painted that one nice solid black color, made it look better, shiny. This is not real high-tech stuff here, folks. Like I said, the car ran well, and you can see it looks 100% better than it did just a couple days before, just because it took a little time. In that picture, you can see a little bit better that my paint work is not really that top notch, but it did make it look presentable. This is what you didn't see unless you looked at it like I looked at it. It had almost new tires all the way around. And there's the interior after I was done. And it had almost a brand new battery. Now, I paid $300 as their agreed price. And after I handed him the money and he had the title in my hand, he said, "Oh, man, can I get a favor from you? Can I have that title back? I mean, that battery back." And I said, "Come on, man. The battery's the best thing about this car." And he went on about how he'd forgot to ask and things. So I said, "Here's what I'll do. I'll give you an extra $20 back." So I did. I gave him that extra 20. So that's why it was $320. That's what I bought it for, $320. And there's your before and your after. And here's just the rundown of the vehicle. It's 97 Nissan Maxima, 300,000 plus. The seller called me on a Post-it note. I paid $320. I invested $6 in between the car wash and the leftover spray paint. Less than 3 hours of my time, and that included all the prep work, transporting it from his place, buying it, transporting it from his place to my place, cleaning it up, and then transporting it to the public auction where I decided to sell it. I decided to sell it quick and fast and easy, put it in the public auction. Crazy thing is, in between the time I auctioned it and the time I posted it on Facebook to get a little bit, I always post them on Facebook and say, "This is going at tonight's auction." I had 12 people respond, and I thought one of them might buy it pre-auction, but they didn't. If you followed me on Facebook, you might have heard me talk about it. None of them came out and bought it. A couple of them did come out and decided they'd just stick with the auction and not buy it at my fixed price was $1,200. And good for them. They got it for $900. And that was my selling price, $900. And I had to pay the auction $60. But if it's less than $1,000, it's an as-is purchase, so I automatically get the money. They did get a good car, though, and I felt good about that because they got good transportation. So I wound up making $514 on that deal. And if you think about it, less than 3 hours work, $514, that's not bad. I felt pretty good about it, and I think lots of people would feel good about making that extra kind of money. And so that's the very lowest level of this thing, right? And I think that's where a lot of people are starting to get into flipping. I'm just wanted to show you that you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And there you go, right? They pay me all in 20s. So just keep in mind that you could expand this a lot bigger if you're buying better vehicles, and you can make a lot more money from it. But I wanted to show you just on the surface level. I know we've got a few folks that listen to the podcast that don't have a lot of money to invest. There you go. You can do it. And if you've got any questions, hey, send me questions at flippingquestions@gmail.com. If you haven't seen all listen to the podcast, please listen to them. Subscribe to our new Flipping Genius YouTube channel. Actually, it's not brand new. We've got probably about 40 videos on there, but we're going to start kicking out smaller, shorter videos on there. Plus, each episode is being broadcast on the Flipping Genius YouTube channel in video now too. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this helped you. And oh, one other thing. If you haven't yet and you've thought about it, go to the flippinggenius.com, just like here, and go to the resources page and check out Jeremy Fisher's 3-hour car flip academy. It's $49 if you buy it through our resources page. And Jeremy actually gives the Flipping Genius a couple dollars commission just for helping support his cause, and it helps support our cause. And I guarantee you, it's a great class. And if you just do one flip, you should make 10 times what you spend on it. I did. So, hey, I'm Randy Lee, and this is Flipping Genius. See you next time. Hey, let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses.